The apartment listing looked flawless. 5 stars. 53 reviews. Charming Gothic quarter flat, steps from La Rambla, perfect for couples. Sarah and Marcus booked it 3 months in advance. Their anniversary trip to Barcelona finally happening. They arrived at 6 p.m. on a Thursday, rolling their luggage down the narrow cobblestone streets of the Barri Gothic, the medieval walls pressing in on both sides. The building was older than expected. Much older. The kind of place where the stones themselves seemed to remember centuries of footsteps. The key worked. The door opened. Inside, everything was exactly as the photos promised. Exposed beams, vintage furniture, a small balcony overlooking the street. Perfect. Too perfect. That's when Sarah noticed the first thing wrong. The deadbolt on the inside of the apartment door didn't have a keyhole. It was sealed. Painted over. She mentioned it to Marcus. He laughed it off. Probably just an old lock they don't use anymore. But as the evening settled over Barcelona, as the Gothic quarter's narrow streets filled with the sounds of tourists and locals mixing in the darkness, Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that something was watching them from the walls. The Wi-Fi kept disconnecting. Her phone showed no signal. The Airbnb app wouldn't load. And then at 11 p.m. they heard the first sound. Footsteps. In the apartment above them. Slow. Deliberate. Pacing back and forth. Back and forth. Marcus checked the listing again. The apartment was supposed to be a standalone unit. There was nothing above them. That's when the real nightmare began. Sarah called the Airbnb support line at 7 a.m. The representative was sympathetic but unhelpful. Is there a maintenance issue we can address? Sarah explained about the sealed deadbolt, the broken thermostat, the footsteps from the apartment above. The representative checked the listing. According to our records, your unit is a standalone property. There is no apartment above you. Sarah felt her stomach tighten. She asked to speak to Elena directly. The representative said they would pass along a message. Elena never responded. Marcus suggested they explore the building. Maybe they were misunderstanding the layout. Maybe the footsteps were from the street. Maybe the old building was just settling. They opened the apartment door and stepped into the hallway. It was narrow, darker than they expected. A single window at the far end let in weak morning light. There were 3 other doors in the hallway. All of them were closed. All of them had the same style of lock. Old, brass, the kind that hadn't been updated in decades. Sarah knocked on the door directly above their apartment. No answer. She knocked again. Harder. Still nothing. Marcus tried the handle. It was locked. As they stood there, Sarah noticed something on the floor. A photograph. Black and white. Faded. It showed a group of people standing in front of this same building maybe 50 years ago. They were all smiling. But their eyes looked hollow. Empty. Like they were smiling because they had to. Because something was making them. Sarah picked it up. On the back, in faded handwriting, Barcelona, 1973. The last guests. They returned to the apartment and locked themselves inside. Sarah researched the building on her phone, finally getting a weak signal. The Wi-Fi was working again, but it kept cutting out. She found a local Barcelona history forum. Someone had posted about the building in 2019. Anyone know the history of the old place on Cara del Bisbee? My grandfather said people used to disappear there in the 70s. The police investigated but never found anything. Another post from 2021, I stayed in an Airbnb there once. Worst experience of my life. The host locked me in. I had to call the police to get out. And then another from just 6 months ago, do not book this building. I rented the ground floor unit. The doors locked from the outside. I couldn't get out. The host claimed it was a safety feature. When I demanded to leave, she said I had to wait until my reservation ended. 3 more days. I called the police. They said there was nothing they could do because I had signed a contract. Marcus read over her shoulder. His face had gone pale. We need to leave, he said. Now. They started packing. Their reservation wasn't supposed to end for 4 more days, but they didn't care. They would lose the money. They would take the loss. Sarah tried to open the apartment door. It wouldn't budge. Not stuck. Locked. From the outside. Marcus threw his shoulder against it. Nothing. He tried the deadbolt. It turned, but the door still wouldn't open. Something was blocking it from the hallway side. They could hear movement out there now. Slow footsteps. Pacing. Not from above. From directly outside their door. Sarah pounded on the door. "Hello? We need to leave. Open this door." The footsteps stopped. For a moment there was only silence. Then they heard it. A voice. Soft. Female. Speaking in Catalan, then switching to English. "You have 3 more days. Your reservation is paid. You will stay." The voice belonged to Elena. Or something wearing Elena's voice. Marcus called the police. He explained the situation. The officer on the phone seemed confused at first, then dismissive. "Sir, you rented an apartment. You signed a contract. If there's a dispute with the host, you need to contact Airbnb." Marcus tried to explain that they were locked inside. The officer's tone changed. "Are you in immediate danger?" Marcus hesitated. Were they? The door was locked, but there was no threat of violence. "Not yet." "No," he said finally. "But we're trapped." "Then this is a civil matter. Contact your rental platform. They will handle it." The line went dead. Sarah was crying now. Not from fear, though fear was there. From frustration. From the realization that they were following the rules of a system that didn't protect them. They had paid for a service. They had trusted a 5-star rating. They had done everything right. And now they were locked in a medieval building in Barcelona with a woman who claimed to own them for 3 more days. That night they heard the other guests. Voices from the apartments around them. Muffled through the walls. People talking in different languages. German, French, Italian, Japanese. All of them saying the same thing over and over. "When does my reservation end? When can I leave?" And Elena's voice, always calm, always patient. 3 more days. You will stay for 3 more days." By the second day, Marcus had found a way to break the seal on the window. It took hours of work with a butter knife from the kitchen, scraping away decades of paint. The window opened onto a narrow alley between buildings. A 3-story drop to the cobblestones below. They could have jumped. They could have tried. But the alley was empty. No one would see them fall. No one would help them. And they were still on the 2nd floor. The fall would likely kill them or leave them severely injured. Sarah had tried the Airbnb app again. It wouldn't load. Her messages to Elena were marked as undelivered. It was as if the apartment existed in a pocket outside the normal world. Outside the normal rules. She found a notebook in one of the drawers, a guest book, she realized. Entries dating back years. "Beautiful stay. Elena is so welcoming. The Gothic Quarter is magical. Can't wait to come back." But there were other entries too. Older ones. Scratched into the pages so hard the pen had torn through the paper. "Help. How long? She won't let us leave. Day 47. I don't remember my name anymore." The last entry was dated 3 years ago. It simply said, "The doors are always locked." On the 3rd day, Elena came to the door. She knocked. Politely. As if she were a guest arriving for tea. Sarah opened it. Elena was older than her profile picture suggested. Maybe 60. Maybe older. Her eyes had that same hollow quality as the people in the photograph from 1973. She was smiling. "Your reservation ends tomorrow," she said. "You will leave in the morning. But before you go, I want you to understand something. This building has been in my family for generations. My grandmother ran it as a boarding house. My mother ran it as a hotel. I run it as an Airbnb. The rules are the same. The guests stay for their reservation. They don't leave early. They don't complain. They don't call the police. They understand that once they book, they belong to the building. They belong to me." Sarah tried to close the door. Elena put her hand out. Her grip was surprisingly strong. "Tomorrow," Elena said, "you will leave, and you will give me 5 stars. You will write a glowing review. You will tell your friends how wonderful your stay was. Because if you don't, I will find your names on the booking system. I will find where you live. And I will make sure your next vacation is much longer than 3 days." She released Sarah's hand and walked away. The door locked behind her. They left Barcelona the next morning. They didn't call Airbnb support. They didn't report Elena. They did exactly what she asked. 5 stars. Wonderful stay in a charming, historic building. Elena is an exceptional host. Highly recommend. The review went live within hours. It's still there. You can find it if you search. But here's what Sarah discovered when she got home. She wasn't the only one. She found a Reddit thread. Dozens of people describing the same experience. The locked doors. The footsteps from empty apartments. The voice of Elena, or someone claiming to be Elena, telling them they had to stay. Some of the posts were recent. Some were from years ago. And some, the oldest ones, were written in a style that suggested they were posted from inside the building itself. Day 12. Still here. The doors won't open. Elena says I have 18 more days on my reservation. Day 47. I've lost count. There are other guests here but I never see them. Only hear them through the walls. Day 89. I think I've always been here. I can't remember booking this place. I can't remember my name. But Elena says I have to stay. The most recent post was from 2 weeks ago. It simply said, the coordinates are real. 41.3851 degrees north, 2.1734 degrees east. Don't go there. Don't book there. The door's locked from the outside. And once you're inside, 3 days becomes forever. Sarah checked the coordinates. They led directly to the building on Cara del Bisbee. The same building where she and Marcus had been trapped. She tried to contact Airbnb again. This time she didn't mention the locked doors or Elena's threats. She simply asked for the host's information. The response came back, we have no record of a host named Elena at this property. The listing has been inactive for 6 months. But when Sarah searched for the building on Airbnb, the listing was still there. Still active. Still taking bookings. Still showing 5-star reviews from guests who had clearly been forced to write them. The profile picture showed a woman who looked like Elena but younger. The name was different. Maria. The description was the same. Charming Gothic quarter flat, steps from La Rambla, perfect for couples. Sarah tried to book it herself, using a fake name and a prepaid card. The booking went through instantly. Confirmation email arrived within seconds. The check-in date was set for 3 days from now. She canceled immediately. But the confirmation email didn't disappear. It stayed in her inbox. And every morning she receives a new message from the Airbnb system. Your reservation at the Gothic quarter flat is confirmed. Check-in is in 3 days. We look forward to your stay. The message resets every morning. The countdown never changes. It's always 3 days away. Sarah hasn't booked another Airbnb since. She won't travel anymore. And sometimes, late at night, her phone buzzes with a notification from an unknown number. It's always the same message, your reservation is confirmed. We look forward to your stay. The coordinates are still active. The building still takes bookings. And if you search the right forums, you'll find posts from people who claim to be inside right now. Trapped. Waiting for their 3 days to end. Except their 3 days ended years ago. And the doors still won't open. This is what happens when cursed coordinates become real. This is what happens when you trust a 5-star review in a medieval city where the buildings remember every guest who ever checked in and never left. If you're planning a trip to Barcelona, if you're browsing Airbnb listings in the Gothic Quarter, check those coordinates twice. Check the host's history. Check the reviews for the hidden messages. Because somewhere in that building on Cara del Bisbee, there are people still waiting for their reservations to end. And Elena, or Maria, or whatever name she's using this week, is still taking bookings. If you made it this far through the nightmare, you're braver than most travelers. But the coordinates never stop calling. Like this video if your next Airbnb booking just got cancelled. Comment what you would do if you found yourself locked inside that apartment. Would you jump from the window? Would you break down the door? Would you accept Elena's terms and write the 5-star review? Turn on notifications. Our next cursed coordinate drops Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it's a destination you've always dreamed of visiting. A place where tourists disappear without a trace. A place where the local guides know exactly where the bodies are buried. You won't want to miss it. And if you've experienced something like this, if you've been trapped in a rental, if you've felt watched in a place that should have been safe, if you've received messages from a host who shouldn't exist, share your story below. Your cursed coordinate could be featured in our next episode. Stay safe out there. And remember, the doors are always locked for a reason.